7 things about NotebookLM's update nobody is talking about. You uploaded 43 PDFs into one notebook last Tuesday. You opened it Friday. And before you could even scroll, the app had already split them into 7 labeled groups, flapped a little emoji on each one, and quietly waited for you to say thank you. That is not a future feature. That happened this week, and almost nobody is talking about what it actually means. After 10 minutes, you will understand exactly why NotebookLM's quiet new update is the first real sign that AI research tools are about to stop feeling like tools and start feeling like a second brain that thinks ahead of you. Here is the thing most people are missing. NotebookLM, Google's research tool that already felt like cheating, just rolled out a feature called Autosource organization. The official account on X dropped one tweet with the line, "More sources, more problems? Not anymore." The internet shrugged. A few tech blogs covered it. Then everyone moved on. But if you actually use this thing for work, study, or any kind of deep research, this update is bigger than the headlines made it sound. And by the end of this video, I am going to show you why this small change is the first crack in something much, much larger. Stick with me, because the part about what Google is quietly building underneath this is the part one wants you to hear most. So let me back up for a second and tell you what NotebookLM even is, in case you have been living under a very nice rock. NotebookLM is Google's AI research assistant. You drop in PDFs, YouTube links, Google Docs, audio files, websites, and anything else, and it reads all of them. Then you can ask it questions, and it answers using only your sources. No hallucinations from random websites, no made-up quotes, just your stuff, but smart. People use it for college classes, legal research, podcast prep, book writing, business reports, and 100 other things. It is built on Google's Gemini models, and it has quietly become one of the most useful AI tools on the internet. Not the loudest, the most useful. There is a difference. And here is the part most people do not know. NotebookLM became a core service inside Google Workspace back in February of 2025. That means millions of business and education accounts already have it sitting there, ready to use, often without the user even realizing it. So when Google ships an update to this thing, it is not shipping to a tiny group of nerds. It is shipping to schools, law firms, marketing teams, students, and researchers all over the world. Keep that scale in your head. It matters for what comes next. Quick pause, because this is exactly the kind of thing we go deep on inside something called the AI Profit Boardroom. If you are trying to learn how to save real time and automate real work using tools like NotebookLM, that is what the boardroom is built for. We break down the exact workflows, the exact prompts, and the exact way to plug tools like this into your day so you stop drowning in tabs. Link is in the description. Now let me get back to the story, because the next part is where it gets interesting. Here is the first big reveal. The new feature kicks in automatically the moment you cross 5 sources in one notebook. Not 10, not 20, 5. The instant your notebook has 5 files, NotebookLM reads every single one, figures out what they are about, groups the related ones together, and gives each group a label. If a single source covers 2 different topics, it gets 2 labels. You can rename anything, you can drag stuff around, you can even add an emoji, which sounds silly until you realize how fast a little book icon helps your eye find your reading list at 3 in the morning. The whole thing happens without you clicking a single button. Think about what just got deleted from your week. The slow scroll through 40 PDFs trying to remember which one had the quote. The Control F across documents. The mental folder system you built in your head and then forgot 2 days later. Gone. A guy named Pasquale Piliteri, who tracks NotebookLM updates obsessively, called this the fix for too much time spent reorganizing sources past the 20th. And he is right. People had been begging for this on Google's help forums for months. Google listened. That alone is worth noting because most big companies do not. But the autosort is not the only thing that shipped. On April 23rd, one day before the auto label tweet, NotebookLM rolled out bulk sharing. Before, if you wanted to share a notebook with your study group, your team, or your class, you had to type each email one at a time like it was 2008. Now, you can paste a whole list separated by commas, semicolons, or new lines, and the system parses every address in one shot. It checks for typos. It flags broken emails before you send. It applies the same permission level to everyone, and you can adjust individuals afterward. For a teacher with 30 students, that is 15 minutes saved every single time. For a research team of 50, that is the difference between sending the notebook today and sending it next week. And there is a third update most coverage missed completely. Flashcards now save your progress. If you have ever used NotebookLM to study, you know it can spit out flashcards from your sources. But until recently, every time you came back, the cards forgot what you had already mastered. Now the system tracks which cards you got right, which ones you keep failing, and what you should review next. It is small, it is quiet, but for any student grinding through medical school notes or bar exam prac, that is huge. That is the difference between a toy and a tool you actually depend on. Now, here is the moment I want you to slow down for. Because if you only see these 3 updates as 3 separate features, you are missing the picture. Step back. What is actually happening here? Google is teaching the notebook to organize itself, share itself, and remember you. Each update on its own is a small quality of life fix. Together, they are something else. They are the early shape of a research assistant that does the boring stuff before you even ask. That is not a feature. That is a direction. Now, let me be straight with you, because this is where most channels would just hype the thing and move on. There are real limits here, and you should know them. The Autosource organization only kicks in at 5 sources or more. If you have a small notebook with 2 PDFs, it does nothing. The labels it generates are decent, but they are not magic. Sometimes it groups things in ways that do not match how your brain works, and you have to rename them. The bulk share update is great, but it still respects all the old workspace rules. If you are sharing from a personal Gmail to a locked-down corporate workspace, your admin can still block it. The flashcard memory is solid, but it is not a full spaced repetition system like Anki yet. It is closer, but it is not there. And here is the bigger caveat. The rollout is gradual. Google does this thing where features show up for some users and not others for up to 15 days. So if you opened your NotebookLM right now and did not see auto labels, you are not crazy. It is coming, just not all at once. That is annoying, but it is also how Google catches bugs before they hit 1 billion accounts. So fine, annoying, but fair. Now reframe all of that, because this is where it gets interesting. Every limit I just listed is a limit you used to spend hours working around manually. 5 source minimum? You used to organize 1 source by hand. Imperfect labels? You used to write every label yourself. No spaced repetition yet? You used to make flashcards from scratch with a pen. The complaint is not really a complaint. It is just the next ceiling. And ceilings in AI tools right now last about 6 months before they break. Step back one more time, because here is the big idea I want to leave you with. For 30 years, software made you do the filing. You named the folders. You dragged the files. You built the system. The computer just stored what you told it to store. NotebookLM, with this update, is doing something different. It is reading what you give it, deciding what belongs together, and presenting the structure back to you. The work of organizing has flipped. You are no longer the filer. You are the editor of a system that filed itself. That is a small sentence with a giant consequence. Because once you get used to that, going back to a normal folder system feels like using a typewriter after you have used a laptop. You will not want to, and you should not have to. This is also why this matters now and not next year. Every other AI tool is racing to do the same thing. ChatGPT has projects, Claude has projects. Gemini just added notebooks of its own, pulling NotebookLM directly into the Gemini app for paid users. The whole industry is converging on this idea that your AI should hold your context for you, organize it for you, and remember it across sessions. NotebookLM just shipped a working version of that idea to millions of workspace accounts in one quiet week. Whoever wins this race wins the next 10 years of how knowledge work gets done. And right now, Google is running faster than people realize. So here is what I want you to actually do. Open NotebookLM tonight. Drop in 5 sources from a project you care about. Let the auto labels run. See what it pulls out of your own material. You will notice something the first time it works. You will notice that you trust it a tiny bit more than you did yesterday. That feeling is the whole story. Before you go, 2 quick things. If you want the full process for using NotebookLM the way power users use it, every prompt, every workflow, every shortcut, that lives inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We treat it like the research lab it actually is. The link is in the description and the comments. And if you want to go even deeper, join the AI Success Lab. It is our free community of more than 67,000 people doing real work with AI every day. And we drop the SOPs, the use cases, and the notes from every video like this one in there for free. Link is also in the comments and description. You will get all the notes from this video the moment you join. So tell me in the comments, what is the one feature you wish NotebookLM would ship next? I read every reply, and I am genuinely curious what the people actually using it want. You uploaded 43 PDFs last Tuesday. By Friday, your notebook had organized itself, labeled itself, and was waiting for you. The folder is dead. You just have not noticed yet.